it's time to start Dishin Days with your hosts, Tony Moore, Michael Mattis, Justin Lee Hareld, and Araceli Aviles. And now, let's dish. Hello, everyone. Happy winning Oscar Sunday. Welcome to Dishin Days, where we're serving up a full dish of this week's episodes of Peacock's exclusive #1 award-winning hit soap opera, Days of Our Lives. If you haven't already, make sure you like us and follow us on all social media platforms. We are Dishin Days Show on Facebook and Dishin Days on Instagram, Twitter, X, and Threads. Also, if you're watching us right now in this very moment, live and in living color, or maybe you're watching us a little bit later, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel. Hit the subscribe button and the bell notification. That way you'll never miss when we're going live or when we've uploaded some brand new videos. Speaking of videos, if you want to become an exclusive member of our exclusive members only page, make sure you join us for $4.99 a month. You can get some wonderful before scene days content, along with our wonderful Those Were the Days extended and a little advice from our favorite Thea in Thea Says. Also, you can participate in our wonderful virtual events where we get together like a gaggle of gals and talk about our favorite soap opera or just what's going on in life. So if you want to participate in that, make sure you sign up right now. It's only $4.99 a month. What? $4.99 a month. And if you need to take us along with you on a long walk or while you're trekking up some mountainous region or sitting in a park or watching the waves crash into a rock, you can listen to all the shenanigans and our thoughts on what happened in Salem this week by finding us on your favorite podcast station. We're on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, and iHeartRadio. Just follow or search for Dishin Days and take us along with you. We'll be right there when you need us. And for some more of your favorite soap opera gossip and recaps, head on over to our former co-host and my chocolate twin, Mr. James Lott Jr., who is serving up a couple of nice spoofs and sports of his own. Over at JLJ Media, you will find a recap of Bold and the Beautiful, Young and the Restless, and General Hospital, along with some original audio dramas from my dearest old friend, who is so old that he is the one that suggested that the Oscar be gold. They were going to make it silver, and he said, no. If they're a winner, baby, it needs to be gold. So thank you, James Lott Jr. Apparently, he also attended the very first Oscars as well. In fact, he knew Oscar. That's how old he is. Anywho, before we, make sure you tell us your thoughts as we go through this journey of this week. And we always want to hear from you. So if you're in our chat room, go ahead and chit chat with us. Or if you're watching us later, leave a comment below. Before we go into the Dishin of all the days, we had a brand new soap opera premiere this week called Beyond the Gates. That's right. Even though it's on CBS and Days is on Peacock, it's still within our soap opera family. And so we want to just take a moment to give our thoughts on it. And and we also want to hear from you if you guys have watched it and want to hear your thoughts on it too. So any thoughts?
Go ahead.
Well, I several times, I think I might have reposted it several times, that I believe it's the character of Naomi, who is the granddaughter in the main family. She gave a speech to her cheating, no good, sleazy dad that just gave me life. That I was like, yes, because he was like, I'm your father and you will respect me, and I'm over here like, this is a grown woman. She is a married woman, and she does not have the time nor the money to be paying for therapy when she can just tell you that you're full of shit.
Araceli.
He's such a terrible person. So I will curse on those. He's a terrible person. And just the speech she gave him, I was just like, I bow down.
I found it very intriguing. I'm kind of hooked on the Danny storyline. I feel like already she's on the verge of a complete meltdown. But you have to remind people that like it's the first week. Like everyone is probably, finding their bearings as far as like with, story and pacing and everything like that. So give it time, y'all. Don't, throw it away just yet or watch 10 minutes of it and go, give it some time. I actually really enjoyed this week and I enjoyed how it ended. And I feel very excited to be a part of a soap opera that is just starting and I get to like watch it from the beginning. It kind of made me go, I wonder what the first episodes were like for our remaining soaps. Like, what was the first episode for?
Well, remaining soaps premiered like at least 5 decades plus ago.
I know,
So
but I wonder what those first episodes were like.
They were not. I think actually there are a couple that you can find for scenes. I want to say you can actually find a scene from the first episode of Days of Our Lives.
I think I've seen
on YouTube. It's somewhere there. But I'm thinking back to this was almost like 25 plus years ago when the last soap opera that first aired that was new before Beyond the Gates was Passions, a la where Eric Martsolf got his start. And I actually do remember, you can also find those too, the first couple episodes, the first week's long episodes of that show. And boy, was the pacing different.
Yeah.
Oh, the pacing was so different. So I don't understand. I would caution everybody to kind of like, if pacing is a problem for you, if you're just trying to get your bearings on this new show, this week actually was pretty jam-packed actually for a premiere week of a brand new show. When if you ever try to compare it to other weeks, and I think they did a good job of balancing the storyline so that nobody got lost. For example, like we're now led to believe that Katie McLean is going to be a very prominent character on the show. She didn't appear until Friday.
Yeah. But I think, it took all week. First of all, I'm still trying to get used to all the characters. Because I'm like, now who is that? Now who is that? Wait, how are they related? Now who is that? Oh. But there were definitely like some little Easter eggs that made me go, wonder what they're gonna do with that. And shout out to Mike Manning, who is also in the show as well. He debuted his character this week, and there's already like a what you about to do? So yeah, I think overall it's I thought it was good and I thought it was entertaining, and I'll keep watching it. It'll be a show that I can probably like watch live each day and not have to wait until the end. So that's good that at 1:00 while I'm having lunch, I can watch something.
Yeah.
For me, I didn't get a chance to this week. I don't have Paramount Plus, so I was kind of trying to find it online somewhere. If anyone has suggestions, let me know. But yeah, I was looking forward to it. I think we've talked about this before, the fact that for us, we never thought we would hear an announcement that they are premiering a new network soap opera. And so that in and of itself is a milestone for where we're at now. It's a milestone that it's a predominantly Black cast. Yeah, I'm looking forward to checking it out, even though I didn't get to see it this week.
Y'all help Justin out. Help him be able to see the episodes. Y'all slide in his DMs or send him links or something so that way he can see it.
Oh, they're right. Actually, the CBS
legitimate ones.
Yeah, no, the CBS website actually does have like the first week Like they'll go week by week with where you don't have to pay for it, just ads.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it was cool. And I'm so excited to see that like the core family is made up of soap vets.
Mm-hmm.
That actually just makes me so giddy inside. That if anybody like we could talk about it somewhere else, but I'm just so excited that it's like this isn't it's a new world, it's a new soap, but it's being helmed by writers and showrunners and actors and etc. who this is not a new world for them. This is their world. This is the world that they grew up in, they cut their teeth on, and so this is just an extension of the bigger soap opera world that we have just been trying to slowly chug along the last few decades.
Yeah. Yeah. And and I also suggest if you do have Paramount Plus, to go back and watch the behind the scenes stuff that they did from the week before they premiered. They went behind the scenes to talk about, the actors and, the family and how it all came about and the little Easter eggs that are with it. I was excited to also hear that not only was CBS, obviously introducing this new soap, Procter and Gamble, who started the soap genre, is a part of it, as well as the NAACP. So there's a lot of like people involved, and it's a really big deal. So be sure to check it out. Add this to your repertoire of soaps. And yeah, we just wanted to take a moment to talk about it and just see what everyone's thoughts were. And now on to our show. Peacock's Days of Our Lives. What did we and welcome Me Worlds. We showed it earlier, but yeah, you're late. And he was at Fairmount Crest, which is from Beyond the Gates, visiting Chanel's long distance cousins. Got a point there. And he was enjoying the news. So yes.
Oh, guys, before we move on, how trippy would it be? Because the family on Beyond the Gates, they are the Duprees. How trippy would it be if we got a crossover with Chanel?
Honestly, I would live for it, because I could see Paulina and Chanel somehow being like a part of the Duprees somehow, and just kind of making an appearance. And in a world without entertainment rules, I think it could naturally happen. I think there could be an episode where Chanel comes in and is like, "Hey girl, oh yes, this is my cousin, Chanel. She lives in Salem, and girl, they crazy over there." Like it would just be such a kiki to like see that, and then see how maybe Paulina is connected somehow into the family as well. But wishful thinking. But anywho, speaking of Duprees and Chanel, what did we think of this week's episodes of Days?
Really good. I really was impressed this week. I think the way a lot of the reveals happen and how they weave them in together, I thought was really good. I thought the pacing was really good this week. It was a predominantly sort of two storylines coming together and us getting some resolution from that. And then a few other little things kind of thrown in, I think. But yeah, I was actually impressed this week.
Yeah.
There was stuff that happened. Nothing's giving me joy right now.
Mm-mm.
And that's what I'm waiting for that. I'm waiting for something to spark joy.
Para mí, I was kind of surprised at the turn of a storyline. I actually thought we were nearing the end, and then they gave us an okie doke, and I was like, I honestly didn't see that coming. So I was surprised, and I'm like, oh well, here we go. Here we go. Well, speaking of here we go, let's dive in deeper to days this week, shall we? Nope, there's still no soundbite. It is now time to start Dishin Days. Oh, yay. This is about as close as we gonna get, and we gonna set that and forget it. Let's start things off with our first storyline, which is na 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 na. Stephanie explains it all. I actually like this moment because I think someone mentioned, oh, sorry, before we start, Michael Mattis isn't with us today. He's off taking photos of fancy people. So check out his social media for the fancy photos later. But I think one of y'all might have said something when we were trying to figure out who Arnold interacted with and who could pick up on it. And so I was like, oh, when Stephanie was like, wait a minute, like back in the day, there was this awkward hug. And I was like, oh, it's coming together. But is it a little too late?
It took a minute for me to remember the moment that Stephanie was talking about. And when she described, I'm actually glad she described it in such a detail because she needed to describe it in order for me to remember the sequence of events. And I even trying to remember why didn't I remember that? Usually I was paying closer attention, and I think it was because I was just so. I was actively trying to check out at that time of Stephanie's storyline because it was the foursome that she was involved with at the time that was just frustrating me to no end. So it pissed me off.
She was on her way out at the time too. It was the last scene Shelley Henning did.
Yeah, so it pissed me off. So I didn't want to pay attention to her, what was going on with her at that time.
Wow.
But also, even though she was the one who mentioned it, like everyone else was still around. So when she would bring it up to someone, they were like, "Oh yeah, Arnold, I remember." And it was like, "Oh okay." Like, no, I mean, mostly everyone in Salem was around. Outside of a handful of new characters, everyone was around 15 years ago. So
yeah,
I mean, more people should have. Again, it should have been a possibility of some sort.
I mean, it's less than you think, though, unless the people who had closer relationships to Rafe prior to that. We're talking about people who had like direct involvement with the storyline, I think was what we were talking about. Like they mentioned, like it was Hope, it was Bo, it was Sammy, it was Will, it was Gabi, and Gabi. So Gabi probably would have been the only one who was directly involved. People were around, but not directly involved.
I mean, at this point, I feel like if you live in Salem, just trust nobody. I feel like every morning, and especially if I had a partner, I'd be like, "Good morning, sweetie." Okay, it's still you.
Or like you gotta have a code word or something to like, like if I say this to you, can you tell me the code word so I always know it's you and not some crazy doppelganger or something.
You know who Salem could learn from? Kevin McAllister. Because with the way he booby trapped the house in Home Alone, that's what people in Salem should do. Booby trap their houses so that nobody can get to them.
Okay. It's like,
I don't think anybody has insurance for that.
They need to. I mean, in Salem, I think you have to have high insurance because you never know when your death is going to be fake or when you're going to be brought back to life or, when the devil comes back around and burns something up. Like, you just got to be prepared. Can you imagine the insurance adjuster in Salem? You're like, Lord, they creating categories.
No one's carrying them. Yeah. Like I paid out insurance the first time you died. Like, I'm not
like I'm not finna do this again. You came back. We not doing this again. Yeah. That's just like that one time. I don't know if I ever told y'all this, but there's this one time I was looking for car insurance and State Farm said, no, we will not insure you. And I was like,
really?
I didn't even know people could say no.
Oh yeah.
They were
Did they
like,
give you a reason? Like your neighborhood or something? Sometimes they do that.
I think I had a traffic ticket,
Oh, that's weird.
but they were just like, no, we can't insure you. And I was like,
You're
How
well, I
like,
guess
rude.
you ain't no good
"Tell
neighbor because State Farm ain't there.
that."
Oh gosh, but just know I'm still available for the commercials if you guys hire me. Nowadays, you got to add taglines, honey, before somebody clip that little part and then be like, "He was talking shit about State Farm." No, I was just telling a story, but I'm still available to take that check. In the words of Brandy. Anywho, Stephanie put that more together than the folks at Salem PD because she connected the dots really well. I was just mad that she left Alex to explain it to Gabi. Like, hold on, I'm gonna go talk to Jada. You explain this to Gabi.
Yeah, I was like, he just got it 5 minutes ago. Like, he has no.
Are you not going? Okay,
But
so
I guess. Oh, good. Sorry.
it's like, so you not okay. So you not going to explain? Okay, all right.
I mean, I guess of all people to have him explain it, Gabi makes sense because she can fill in the blanks, or once he mentions Arnold, she's sort of tapped in at that point.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it was nice that it was her whole awakening was the feeling of it. I like that part of it, that it wasn't. I had a conversation with him. He didn't seem like Rafe, something's up. It was, oh no, this feeling of deja vu. I've been here before.
That's what's
part
called
of it I liked. Yeah.
Ladies, that's what's called your intuition. Trust it.
Men have intuition.
Or
too.
anyone, yeah. Or any breathing human, yes.
Yeah. Even sometimes animals.
It is a very animal instinct.
But she also realized, because when Arnold made a pass at her and kissed her, she was like, oh, they gave me the ick.
Yeah.
And I was like, you should have. Two things. Does anyone else feel like Arnold may have a sex addiction?
I think he's just a whore.
But also, can somebody at Days please stop writing Arnold sitting at the kitchen table watching inappropriate videos?
But that doesn't qualify as a sex addiction. An addiction is when you literally can't you have too much of it. Like, so if he was going out and getting laid several times a day with different women, that would be qualified being as a sex addiction. He's just a whore.
I guess. He told that exotic dancer, call me Arnold. And then went on a whole thing about him being adopted. I'm like,
part of me was like, is this what's gonna get him caught? I was like, is the stripper gonna be like the linchpin in this? Because I don't know. When they brought her back, I was like, oh, what's going on here? Okay, like, I guess it makes sense he would call her. But then when he started it, and then I don't know if it was maybe not the end of the episode, but it seemed like they cut to commercial right after that, and I was like, oh God, is she gonna like
spill the beans
together or say something? Yeah, is she gonna be the catalyst how this all comes apart? But I guess not.
It's almost, I guess it's a fake out, because it's kind of like, well, why put that poor girl through that whole story and then y'all not use it? Or I don't know, maybe.
Oh, it comes back around.
Yeah, maybe. Oh, good for her. At least she has potentially more, appearances.
Yeah, she was good. But he also kind of told her a weird story about being adopted, which, I mean, the jig's kind of up now, I guess. But
yeah. Well, we found out who won the CRS or CRV, whatever drug that was. We saw who won the fight.
Yeah, which
CRS-17.
Did anyone else think they skipped some, or did anyone else check their feed to make sure they didn't skip over?
What do you mean?
Oh, that you wanted to see the actual fight?
They
Yeah.
skipped to like,
Yeah.
remember how they left it as the cliffhanger on Friday, and then when we
Mhm.
came back, it was just resolved.
Mhm.
And then later on, we'll talk about the Chanel thing. Kind of came out of nowhere too. There was no lead up to that. And I was like, wait, did I
Oh
miss?
yeah. Well, Kristen kind of mentioned like she's like, when I came in and you two were fighting, I thought you were gonna get stuck with it, but
Yeah,
thankfully you stuck him. So it's like, okay, so now we have to put the rest of the pieces of the puzzle together. So
yeah.
Kristen walks in, got scared, from. He gets Rafe. Rafe gets pumped. Rafe then gets transported from Aramid to the Demira mansion. And then before he's able to wake up, good old Rita goes over to the Hernandez house, is talking to Arnold, and says, oh, one last thing. Knocks him out, have the men come and get him, and then strip him of the clothes, which I don't know what they put Arnold in, then put the real Rafe on the table, only to wake up and not realize his name is Rafe. And I said, oh, talk about putting in two, like, listen, you can make a drink strong, but you can't make medicine strong. Like, you done made it so strong that you done erased his whole memory.
Yeah.
He don't even know who he is. He was sitting there looking at everybody like, what is going on? I just woke up.
Mm-hmm. I was like, oh, that's a kind of interesting twist to it. So it's not, he
because
doesn't just forget the last month or so. It's he doesn't even know who. Did he say who's Rafe too? So
yeah,
like
he said who's Rafe, who's Arnold? Like he has no identity.
Got it. Okay.
None.
PCRS. Can't remember shit.
That's exactly what it is. That's exactly what it is. But that was the interesting turn for me, because I was like, oh, okay, here we go. Bing, bang, boom. We about to wrap this up. And then he was laying there and he was like, who's Rafe? I said, y'all done erased the man's memory.
Mm-hmm.
Poor Rafe.
And then piling on that, Gabi getting the hair. So she's going to think he's Arnold when she gets the hair tested. And I will say I like the scene between them, Arnold and Gabi.
Let me tell you, the way Gabi looked at him when he's like, stop acting like a bitch. She said,
I'll make a small point here. This is how I know when you don't want to pay for the stunt coordinator, because if my brother called me a bitch to my face, do you know how fast I'd be grabbing a frying pan
and playing grip ball?
Do you know how fast that dining room chair would have been flying across the room?
The way anybody would have seen red, honey. That should have warned like a quick slap, like.
Yeah, no, you wouldn't have. Rafe wouldn't have time to defend himself.
Actually, she was about to, and then he stopped her because she went to slap him, and then he went, and I was like, ooh.
Was that earlier?
That was that was later, and that's why I'm like, that was very delayed. She must have been in shock, because no, that wouldn't have flown.
But we'll see how that unravels. Before we move on to the next storyline, can we talk about the Jada and Shawn of it all?
I'll say this: I like the way they handled it. It was kind of like, oh, something we did. Do you know what I mean? Like, it wasn't, we're magically in love now, we're a couple now just because they had sex. It was like,
we just needed to get over someone.
Yeah. And then the way they were playing it, it was like, okay, well, we're kind of putting this on the back burner because the Rafe stuff is coming to the forefront. But it wasn't I don't know. It just wasn't. It wasn't precious. Like it was, like
Yeah.
like they're now destined to be lovers or to be married because they slept together. It wasn't. I like the way they handled that part of it. I mean, who knows moving forward the complication of it, but it wasn't treated as some grand thing.
Yeah.
Grown people who can smash and then move on.
True. And that's what they were. And it was a very grown conversation of like, I am completely over Rafe, especially after what I heard. You are divorced. You are over Belle. So why not pick up where we left off? It was either that or, well, my mom says they should not have done that. I'm fine that they did. Don't text me, Mom. But it was either her hook up with Shawn or her sit on the couch and listen to Adele mixed in with Beyonce's Lemonade and Renaissance.
Now, I will say, this is why we have Adele and Beyonce, ladies, for these moments. Because to prevent us from doing things like this.
Well, I don't know, because when you reach the Beyonce Lemonade, that's very much like, as she mentioned, grabbing a bat. That's when you like really think about some stuff and you start tearing stuff up.
Mm-hmm.
Let me tell you, like she literally perfectly described the state of emotions like during a breakup like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Starting off with Adele. You're going to cry. You're going to be in your feelings. You're going to be like, oh my God, I was so hopeful. I was so hopeful. Never mind, I'll find, very much that, right? Should I give up? All that, right? Hello, it's me, Then we go into, that's the sad state. Then we go into rage. We're mad. And that's where Beyonce Lemonade comes in. It's don't hurt yourself. Sorry. Hold up. They don't love you like I love you. Okay. And then once you get over the rage, it's like, I just need to release and just feel good and happy. And that's where Beyonce's Renaissance come in. So shout out to the fact that they really described, the state of emotions for that. Now, I would have added in during the Adele state, a season of Sex in the City and pizza and milk and cookies. That also helps. I'm just saying. I'm reading my mom's comment who says, you don't smash and move on. Not good. I'm old school. I feel like in this, my mom and I will learn a lot about each other.
Everybody has their own breakup playlist is what I'm learning.
What's your breakup playlist?
Oh gosh, what is my breakup playlist?
Well, you said it like you already had it in mind. And go ahead and be thinking about yours too, Justin.
I don't have one. I don't have one, which is weird. I have one for everything else. It depends. It's like the 5 stages of grief. That's the thing. So it's like you have to make sure you have to be diligent and run the spectrum.
Do you have songs?
Yeah, I have songs.
Okay. We're gonna play a game of round robin. We love how we play round robin. Somebody's gonna mess it up, but here we go. Round robin. Ooh. The state of sadness. What is the song or songs that you listen to for sadness? You could be going through a breakup. You could just be going through life.
Oh gosh, hold on. I can hear it. I'm forgetting the name. It's Kelly Clarkson's version of God, what is the song from the Hamilton remix? It's
Everyone's looking it up now.
It's Quiet Uptown.
It's Quiet Uptown.
It's Quiet Uptown, but only the Kelly Clarkson version.
Okay. Justin, what's your sad?
Here we go.
I feel like you what?
I don't really do sad music, so I'm just frantically looking through my Spotify of any melancholy music, which I don't listen to.
Well,
don't have-
melancholy is different from sad. Like I want you like the first song that just like I like is gonna make you start crying.
Oh no. Why should I be sad?
Mm.
Britney Spears. Classic.
Mm.
Why Should I Be Sad by Britney Spears?
Mm-hmm.
Never heard that.
Oh, it's yeah.
That's a deep cut.
Mm-hmm.
Sitting here, I thought of a few. Maybe because I'm always a sad person. There's Deborah Cox's How Did You Get Here?
Mm-hmm.
There's Mariah Carey's Mariah theme, Can't Take That Away.
Mm.
And then there's also Ariana Grande's Fake Smile.
Mm-hmm.
Those would be mine. Okay. When you're in rage, you are mad and you gotta get that out, that rage. What's the song?
Awake and Alive by Skillet.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
Mine is Breaking Dishes by Rihanna. Justin, do you not go through emotions?
Not. Mm-hmm.
It's you know what I think? Justin's very chill. I think he's so chill that
he
it's
just
like,
doesn't let things get to him.
well, he doesn't go. Well, he doesn't. I'm not sure if he goes through like the peak.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not a put it on music feeling stuff person. Rage. God. Oh shit. I don't know. Like, I'm really trying to think of something
So
actually.
hard for him.
Or what do you do when you're like? What do you do when you're mad? Do you listen to music? Do you
scenarios?
dance?
No, I don't.
What scenarios you playing out?
Yeah, I play with scenarios in my head. I'll put it that way.
And,
you know, I don't know. No, I grew up too much in the nighttime soap generation where music dictated the scene.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like you can't get away from it.
Okay, last one.
Sorry, let me put. There's a few good ones. Actually, yeah, a couple of these are really good.
Oh yeah,
Love and Know's a good one, a classic.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
I see. I see the Me World saying "It's All Coming Back to Me Now." Mm-hmm. Let's see that. Yes, that's a good one. Okay, Old Friend by Phyllis Hyman. Little Phyllis Hyman in there. Somebody said Justin is sweating like his answer is 100% of his grade.
I know. I was like actually trying to find something, but yeah.
Somebody asked if you're an Aries.
No.
Libra. Oh, this used to be my song, "Unbreak My Heart" by Toni Braxton.
Oh, that yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay, what's a joyous song, really quick, like a song that when you're happy you just put on? Happy song.
Sade in the 90s.
Who?
Sade in the 90s. That's a song, not Sade.
Oh, Sade, and I was like, Justin,
yeah,
Sade
no.
Okay,
Sade
in the 90s.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. For me, it's gonna be Earth, Wind, and Fire, September.
Oh, do you remember?
Because that's when my birthday is.
Oh man, what is it for me? A happy mood. Yes, I'm trying to figure it out. I feel like anything Beyonce, like a Crazy in Love, like a Single Ladies, like a yeah, probably one of those, or anything nostalgic that I grew up on, like a Britney or O Town or something like that. Yeah.
Whitney,
Whitney Houston. Yes, that is.
I want to dance
good.
with somebody. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, we spent some time on that. But did we? Are we here for Jada and Shawn, or we're just kind of like over
I
it?
I could take them or leave them right now. Honestly, nothing's moving me. I'll let you know when something moves me.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're kind of the same. I mean,
Uh,
they're fine.
okay. Actually, I love this question. Of people's playlists. It's been interesting to see like what people have been listening to. All right. Well, that was that storyline. Let's move on to our next. Oh no, I'm sorry.
It's the
Well,
same one,
part
just
part of the
continuing to lead into
storyline.
each other.
Oh yeah. Now this is part B of everyone else finding out. Okay. The Ava, Kristen, Brady, EJ, Belle, Marlena of it all. Like everyone basically finding out about, Aramid.
Otherwise known as the worst parents in the world.
Okay, question. When it comes to Ava and Brady's conversation about staying quiet about what happened with Ava at Aramid, who are we siding with here? Who is there? Is there anyone that's in the right?
I am on Ava's side because I'm on Rachel's side here.
You mean for Ava to keep quiet?
No, I'm on Ava's side in terms of why are you letting her get away with this again?
Mm-hmm.
Because this does no good.
When you say her, you mean Kristen, or do you mean Rachel, young Rachel?
Young Rachel. Because this is just another kicking the can down the road kind of a thing. This is not solving the tiny terror problem.
See, I thought Ava was referencing Kristen getting away with it again, not Rachel. I don't think she was.
She was, but the problem is that everybody in this situation is still treating Rachel like she's an innocent little girl. Guys, she's not an innocent little girl anymore. She committed a crime. She's shown absolutely zero empathy for what she did. She is fast on her way to being a sociopath. CPS is what would be 100% within their right to take her away.
It was a tough one because it was kind of tough watching that conversation. It was tough watching Brady have to be like, listen, this is for my kid. Like, I can't have her taken away. And I replayed everything and I was like, number one, Kristen made that decision too. Kristen had nothing to do with Ava's kidnapping. Mm-hmm. Only in the sense that she found her. She was going to release her until the CPS thing was happening. And her mom was like, this is what you're going to do to your little girl. And I think as a parent, you go, well, do you want your child to be raised by you or to be taken away and put in the system and possibly raised by other people?
Yeah, see, great argument, except for one, I'll just say it, Rachel is rich and she's white. So the chances of her getting taken away and never seeing her parents again are like zero. So in this,
I don't know. CPS came on.
Yeah.
No, they'll take. I mean permanently. She won't be taken away permanently. That's the thing. My issue with this whole thing is that, okay, say Ava keeps quiet. Say okay, I'll protect your little girl. Nobody's gonna say anything. Everybody's off the hook. Blah blah blah. Okay, then what?
Oh, I think Ava. Here's what I'll say. I do not fault Brady. Well, first of all, Kristen used that as a trap card is classic Kristen. And I mean, I mentioned that last week. I saw this a mile away that she would use that. I totally see Brady. Again, he's trying to protect his daughter. I also think with their history, both his and Kristen's, a CPS threat is very serious to both of them. So I don't blame Brady for going to Ava. I think what Ava should be doing, I think she I think Ava's a really reasonable person, as troubled as her past in history has been. I think she is probably going to keep quiet. I do think she has the right to ask for some conditions here. And whether that's certain, you two need to
Get
up
your
the counseling
together.
with Rachel, you need to get her under control. I think it's perfectly logical for her to also ask from some considerations to EJ and Kristen, whether that's money, whether that's something else. I don't know. I think she's well within her right to use this also to her own advantage, as well as putting conditions on Brady and Kristen for it. Like, if I'm going to keep quiet, you need to solve this Rachel problem once and for all.
Yeah, because this just gets worse and worse and worse the longer it goes on. It's no longer cute. It's no longer cute, childish behavior. This little girl is fast growing up, and this is her first major crime that she's committed. Yes, she had the help of an adult who should have known better, but the problem is that the adults in her life keep letting her off the hook. And that's how sociopaths are built.
Well,
She has no forgiveness, no empathy for what she did.
Well, I think a lot of things. I think it's her environment. I think she's probably seen a lot.
Psychopath.
And so this seems to be okay. I think that Brady and Kristen need to get it together. I think they also need to instill in Rachel. Well, first, I think they need to instill in Kristen that Brady and Kristen are no longer ever going to be together. And then I think they need to instill that into Rachel, that it's okay for her to love her parents, even if they're not together. It's definitely a lot, but I think that there is a point of any one of them would do the same to make sure that their child is protected. And so I think with that, especially when Ava was like, I'll take a bullet for Trip, which she's demonstrated a lot of like trying to keep her kids out of hot water. It's not too much to ask the same. But if I was Ava, I would have looked at Brady and said, I'll keep quiet, but I'll tell you this. You better get that little brat together or I will.
Kristen, write me a check or something, some condition. Whatever. She's getting off essentially scot-free here.
Boarding school.
I don't know. Boarding school will help.
Military school.
But they should have nipped it in the bud when she was sending the text messages.
Yeah, no, just God.
Or they should have nipped it in the bud with Chloe.
Yes.
Which started this mess, but
But they
Kristen
couldn't
was
because
on that train.
Yeah. Because it worked to her benefit. I just the character of Kristen needs a revamp. Like I just need her to not be concerned about Brady anymore. I need her to realize that ship has sailed. And it's okay that ship has sailed. It is fine.
And it's weird because I think she goes sort of halfway with Rachel. We've seen the past, I don't know, couple of months before this incident, whenever Rachel comes up, she is sort of trying to teach her right and wrong and say, you can't do this and you can't do that. And don't look at what I did or what our family has done, kind of a thing. So I think she's kind of there, but the minute it sort of benefits her, she can kind of turn on a dime. And it's like, Kristen, you're almost there, like you're trying to steer Rachel on the right path with it, which is nice. She really isn't trying to mold her into a mini her, which I think is good. But
the problem is that you show kids by example.
Yeah.
And there's a reason that only one of Stefano's offspring was raised by him. It's because all the other moms had the will and the good sense to shield them from Stefano for their entire childhoods. EJ was the only one who was raised by Stefano. Because they knew being in that house is just not good for a child.
No. Moving on from that, how do we feel about the EJ Belle of it all?
I mean, I'm actually kind of sad that they were going to end, but it was inevitable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Again, we talked about it that
Yep.
like comparing it to Victor and Maggie. Victor softened for Maggie. EJ did not soften for Belle, although Belle just came out of nowhere.
Mhm.
And I think maybe something was developing. And I think in the back of her mind, Belle was just like, he's such a dick, but it's good.
Mhm.
So,
Or at least he's not actively involved in anything. You know, or she like tried to convince herself he wasn't, kind of a thing.
yeah.
It's one thing, it's one thing to look at someone's past and be like, that's over with. They're not currently doing anything bad. I could see them as a different person. But yeah, I think it hit her really hard this week to be like, I think she kind of suspected he was obviously setting up Jada, but still wanted to give him somewhat of the benefit of the doubt because her feelings were growing for him. But that plus putting together he took Rafe and yeah, it was all too much for her.
Yeah. I mean, I feel bad. I mean, I don't know. I think low key, some of us liked the thought of EJ and Belle, but it's just you have to change EJ's dynamic in order for him and Belle to work.
Yeah.
And right now, he just has his hand in too many things. So, all right. Well, that was a long storyline.
Yeah.
Let's move on to some good old Christian values.
Ah,
I know many are thinking it. I'm just gonna go ahead and say it out loud. Mrs. Choi is getting on my nerves.
She's been, yeah.
but at the same time,
Nope.
I at least she's upfront about it.
No.
No, but hear me out. At least she's upfront. It's like she's not going to change. So it's up to Tate and Sophia as the parents to be.
You just said it. It's up to Tate and Sophia. It is not up to Mrs. Choi. And Mrs. Choi has her hand in this a little too much for me. She should be there for guidance with her daughter, Sophia. But it shouldn't be approval. Like, she shouldn't be at the forefront. It's not her baby. She's not having the baby. She's not in the situation. Her daughter is. So be there for your daughter.
Yes, okay, but then it's up to Tate and Sophia to set that boundary, to do that, to set that line, and to deal with whatever consequences may come of that. If they really want to stick their foot in the sand and say, this is the hill that I die on, okay, but then do that. Don't flounder and then go around and embellish and lie.
But neither one of them are old enough to like go against.
By the time the baby is born, they will be.
But that's in another 6 months.
In another few months, they'll both be.
She ain't got 18. Time for that.
Well, no. Well, then they're gonna have to deal with it. They're just gonna have to deal with it.
Yeah. Well, the problem is
of teenage parents do.
I think the problem is Sophia is under her mother's thumb. She's raised by a woman who is controlling and wants things done a certain way, and she's scared to go against her. I think if she stood up to her mother and Tate would back her. I also think Brady is too removed from this. Again, we know he's dealing with Rachel and her delinquent self, but he has a teenage son who is about to be a father. He needs to be more in this. I think he needs to take on the role of sticking up for these kids because he can see that she is a demanding force and that Sophia doesn't want to go against her mother. And that's what this is all about. Again, they're going to be 18 by the time this baby is born. It is ultimately their decision. They don't have to consult the mother at all. But because Sophia still lives under her mother's roof and she was raised by a controlling woman, she is giving her more power than she deserves.
Yes.
But I also think it's up to the adults here. Brady needs to step in. Maybe even Marlena could offer to talk to her. Like, someone needs to step in on their behalf. And I think Brady has seen who Miss Choi is and what she's about. And I think, I don't know, some of the responsibility kind of relies on him to step up a bit and talk to her parent to parent.
Yeah. But they all need to realize, like, this woman is not going to change. Okay. She's set in her ways. She's set in her belief systems. She's not going to change her mind. So you have to, so it's up to Sophia at this point. She's got to decide. And unfortunately, she's got to realize that the minute the positive came back on the pregnancy test, her childhood was over.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. That's it. You're an adult now. You have to make grown-up decisions.
The long and short of it, Mrs. Choi should be a guide and not a decision maker. Period. Unless she plan on taking and raising the baby.
Oof.
Sophia, tell me what you need help with. I'll be here as your guide and not your decision maker. If you think you and Tate, want to do this, okay. I will give my opinions, but you guys got into this mess. Ultimately, it'll be up to you to make sure you do what's best for your child.
Oh, that's a nice little fantasy.
Well, there's that. Do we think Johnny and Chanel would be
good parents? Is that what you...
I don't.
I think they would be great parents, but I think that Marlena brought up a lot of good points.
I guess I should ask, should they even be involved in this right now?
No, this is all a horrible disaster waiting to...
No. Every pause that Marlena took in her conversation with Johnny, I felt it in my soul because she's not saying that it's a good or a bad idea. Every pause is like, uh-oh, problem. Uh-oh, problem. Uh-oh, problem. Not that every problem is insurmountable, but there's just too many of them.
Yeah.
For this situation to go smoothly.
This should have been a beginning of a series of possible conversations. This is not, we run into my cousin Tate after sort of getting bad news ourselves. We share a nodding glance to each other, and all of a sudden we're adopting a baby. All of a sudden, and then even when Marlena, I thought Marlena and Paulina were great counterpoints. When Marlena brought up of like, oh, since it's an inter-family adoption, is it an open adoption? And it was like, Johnny was like, oh, we didn't even. I'm like, girl, like, yeah, that's the first thing you would probably talk about considering it's inter-family. And then, of course, Paulina's perspective of, look what happened with Lonnie. Now, that was a little bit of a different situation, but still, that was based on secrets where, I don't know. It's just there. This is you sit down and you discuss it. First of all, Johnny and Chanel need to sit down and discuss, one, are they ready for adoption? Is adoption the right choice for them right now? Or are they teetering between... Because I think he mentioned to Marlena, oh, we still would like to have a biological child in the future if it's possible. I'm like, okay, well, you're kind of, yes, that's always an option, but you're still possibly holding on to that. It's like, figure out what you two want, and then also figure out if Tate and Sophia's baby aligns with that, and also discussing the parameters. And Tate and Sophia also need to discuss this. Like, where's, like, they're trying to coddle Mrs. Choi. Teresa's in jail. Brady's apparently busy with Rachel. Like, who is he talking to about this? Like, who is he does Brady know that Johnny and Chanel want to adopt? Like, I don't know. These are conversations these kids need to be having with their parents for guidance. And well, we already know Mrs. Choi has a one-track mind, but I don't know. I feel like they should be talking to Brady. Sophia should be talking to Ava probably if she wasn't kidnapped. But like, this is
Oh,
These are 17-year-old kids who are just like, oh, you want my baby? Sure, you're nice people. It's like, it's
Well,
a lot more complicated than that.
there are also 17-year-old kids who are trying to get rid of this problem and get Mrs. Choi off their back.
Yeah.
So,
and has
Yeah.
anyone really, have they actually had the discussion of what it means to, I won't say give up because give up's not the correct term. It's place a child, a biological child into someone else's arms. Like, have they sat down and actually had a conversation between each other about
No.
what that would? Yeah, it's like all these beats are like being missed. I don't
you know who had the conversation? Paulina to Chanel,
yes.
who doesn't even have the baby,
Yeah,
but apparently
Well, yeah,
has tumors.
Someone needs to be having this conversation with Sophia. I mean, yeah.
It's just, oh God,
Yeah.
It's just the Mrs. Choi of it all.
Oh my
That's
gosh.
what's making it so annoying.
I
Although side,
But
think
even
that-
if you go ahead.
yeah,
go ahead,
just-
Justin.
I was gonna say, even if you take out Mrs. Choi, there's still the interfamily part of it. There's
Yes.
still there's still a lot to work out other than Johnny and Chanel are nice people. They're my family. Take the baby. It's like
yeah, I'm in a complete agreement with Justin. It's like Mrs. Choi is the biggest obstacle, but if any one of these people in this scenario were having actual full length conversations instead of just jumping into the next step, then Mrs. Choi would be the only obstacle.
Yeah.
I
forgot what I was gonna say.
love it.
Oh,
All these
yeah.
people have parents. Marlena's a psychiatrist. Like, this is crazy.
Well, what's crazier is coming to Friday and realizing that Chanel is in the hospital with tumors taken out.
No.
It's like, well, what had happened between Monday and Thursday?
So I was like, did I miss an episode? What's going on?
It's just like all of a sudden she's just sitting, chilling up in the hospital.
Nobody wants to cover an outpatient procedure.
Yeah, it was just.
Well, glad she's
weird.
okay and glad there's no cancer.
Yeah,
just trouble carrying a baby, which I think they were trying to get to. Well, we got there.
Yeah.
But good luck in Bible study, Chanel.
I know now the lying about it. I was like, oh. And okay, how is Miss Choi? First of all, how does she not know who they're talking about? Or two, 5 minutes into looking into these people, she's not gonna be aware of the Demiras. Like, she doesn't she doesn't know anything about the Demiras. 2 seconds into, I don't know, walking into the mansion, she's not gonna be like, ain't this a Demira mansion? Ain't this like didn't Stefano the
she's
world
just driving up
and live here? Like, yeah, like
we going to the Demira mansion?
Yeah. Is Johnny a Demira? What's going on here?
I mean,
and she doesn't know Chanel is Paulina, the mayor's daughter. Like, I don't know. It was weird.
It's just
she knows those aren't any names she's familiar with in their church.
Yeah. It's like, girl.
This is also ridiculous.
Oh, God. Yeah.
Well, we're gonna do ourselves a favor and let them think about this mess, and we're gonna move on to something more fun. Because you got to put the fun in fundraiser. They're gonna just keep figuring out ways to have Kat and Chad like interact and talk and stuff.
Yeah, and each one gets worse and worse.
It gets worse, but I would be bored out of my mind if not for the chemistry between Chad and Kat. Between Billy and Annalyn. Because
they have great chemistry. We recognize that
scene shouldn't work.
So long. It what?
That scene that shouldn't work.
Yeah.
That's the thing. That scene was so drawn out and so tedious that it should not at any universe work. But because Billy and Annalyn are just so good and their chemistry is so together, it is bearable.
Did
Yeah.
anybody else all of a sudden, as they were talking about the fundraiser and the dunk tank, wanted to see Marlena, aka Deidre Hall, then in a dunk tank?
First of all, I was like, who is Chad talking about? Like, whenever these people describe Marlena, I'm always like, what show are you talking about? They always describe Marlena with characteristics that we never see or get to. It's always she's so fun and and again, I like Marlena, but I'm like, who are they talking about?
Well, there's a difference between being a fun person and being a good sport.
Mm-hmm.
In what world would Marlena be dressing up as the devil? Like, nothing about the devil possession storyline has ever been played for laughs from her, has ever been not taken seriously. Like, why would she? I was like, Chad, what the hell are you talking about? Marlena would do this. Like,
I was like, that doesn't describe. And then, first of all, when he said, oh yeah, she would totally do the dunk tank. I was like, well, she would.
yeah, I
And then it was
know.
like, dunk the devil, and I was like,
I was like, I could kind
girl.
of maybe see the dunk tank, but then when they were like, yeah, dunk the, I was like, okay, this is, what are you talking about, Chad? Come on. But it was also like, Kat, it wasn't like she needed that information for anything. Do you know what I mean? It wasn't like
Right.
he had to get that out so Kat would be aware of it or something. It was like, okay, this is, I don't know. Like you said, the chemistry made up for it, but nothing about that scene made any sense to me, other
Yeah.
than we're gonna put these two together.
It's also kind of like, this whole fundraising thing for this broke hospital. I'm just like, no one else thought about that? Is everyone else
I know,
just kind of
yeah.
like there's no hospital board that's like, well, what can we do to save the
Of
hospital?
course, I know.
Kat, the new assistant who just started that day, is the one that comes up with it.
And Stephanie and apparently the hospital PR
PR,
or PR net didn't come up with this. Stephanie did it, or the
and no one seems excited about it. Like even Kayla was just like, I mean, I guess. It's like, girl, the hospital about to close its doors. This ain't the Applebee's.
Oh god. I really was expecting, I don't know about you guys. I thought she was gonna go into the gala thing and it was gonna be an excuse for us to get some sort of like
Fancy gala.
masquerade ball or something like that. That's where I thought they were heading with this.
I don't care what we get as long as we get something, and I'm gonna need to see some movement on Chad and Kat. If it starts when the new writing regime starts, that's fine because I know it's we're closer to it than we have ever been. But
Still though, like by now they should be over the whole situation. They keep bringing it up. It's like, girl,
yeah, you're in town, you're staying, he's in town, you're gonna run it. Like, also stop pretending like you're not gonna run into each other. Like you
it's
I think it was
Salem.
last time when he's like, Salem's a big enough place for the two of us. I was like, no, it's not. You're gonna see each other almost every day. Like, deal with it. Like,
well, anyway,
storyline.
Well, that was fun, wasn't it? Let's move on to our tidbits. But before we do, just a reminder. Follow us on social media platforms, Dishin Days on Facebook, Dishin Days Show on Facebook, Dishin Days on Instagram, Twitter, X, and Threads. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel. Also, if you want to become a member of our exclusive members only page, click the join button on our YouTube channel and come in and join the fun. Also, find us on your favorite podcast station. We're on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, and iHeartRadio. Also, make sure you show some love to JLJ Media, James Lott Jr., on YouTube and where all podcasts can be found. And keep telling us your thoughts and comment below if you are watching later. I wouldn't mind a minute Salem.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind a little striptease.
Yeah. Stuff they used to do in the 90s. I feel like. That would be
cool. All right. Let's move on to Leo Stark, Ace Reporter. Okay, great. He got a job at Salem Spectator.
Yeah, it's like, okay. So
I'm okay with it.
Resistant. I know.
I mean,
that was kind of like
it's like he was writing for Lady Whistleblower that was very popular. He wrote a wonderful article about the Hortons and their traditions. Great. Like, Chad, just give the boy a job.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. That was literally that. Nothing else
Yeah.
was. Yeah.
That's
revealed in the seed or nothing else of importance. It's like,
Although I kind of wish, like, maybe Leo. I wish Leo would have been like, "Hey, so let me work at the Spectator, but let me take the Spectator into digital." And he started doing like hosting like a podcast or doing like interviews and stuff on like
okay.
it's more of a digital thing rather than it seems
Yeah.
like a typing thing.
Yeah. Okay. That could have been, yeah.
And then they could have booked Araceli to come on and be a reporter. Oh, she was gonna stay at home. I love a good callback. So yay, we're all on board with Leo as a reporter. Moving on to the next storyline, Doug Williams, the third wheel.
This is another one where we're going to need to get some fast movement on this.
I'm tired of them talking about that necklace. They need to tell me what besides it being Julie's grandmother's necklace or great grandmother's grandmother's. Yeah, Alice. Instead of it being her necklace, like I need another story behind it. Did Tom give it to her? Was it the first expensive
No, we know how. No, we know who it was. It wasn't it. They said the story that it was a gift from her sister, and she never wore it because she thought it was too extravagant.
Great. Okay, either
that was it.
Either and go get the necklace back, or
yeah, but
I'm tired of them cutting to Doug and Doug being like.
Well, because if anything, that makes it more annoying because they've already established that, yes, it was Alice Horton's necklace, but Alice Horton never wore it.
Honestly, we got more character development from Steven through a letter than we did through anything. Steven being like, and let me tell you about Sierra really annoying me.
He didn't write an email. He didn't send a text message. He wrote a letter and said the audacity of Sierra trying to blame
left out
me.
Lucas, which was funny. I was like, God, can Lucas not get a mention?
No, cannot.
You're even taking him out of this storyline.
Yes.
Oh God. Yeah.
I want to go on that girls' trip to go shopping in Chicago for the day.
Oh yeah,
Julie and Maggie. That was cute.
That was cute.
I do like Maggie and Holly's relationship where Maggie was like, "So, how was your Valentine's Day?" I wanted to be like, first of all, Holly, I'm gonna need you to omit some stuff. Yeah, I don't need you to be going to Maggie being like, "Oh, it was so magical." Tate was no, we had dinner and it was great.
Yeah, yep, that's all you do.
Happy Valentine's Day.
I do like the Maggie. I mean, she's seems like intrigued by the idea of Doug. Like she's not saying dismiss him, stay away from him. You're in a committed relationship with Tate. She's kind of like, Tate's got his own drama and it's probably going to blow up in your face. So don't say goodbye to Doug so soon. It seems
right. Like. Always keep a man in your back pocket.
Yeah. And Julie, on the other hand, we didn't get it this week, but I think in the past she's alluded to the fact whenever Doug said, "Oh, she's with Tate," Julie's been like, "Yeah, we'll see for now," or so. Like she just kind of like, shit happens. you never know.
It's like, she's with Tate for now.
Yeah,
it's Salem.
Right.
You never know what could happen.
Right.
Keep her in your back pocket.
Yeah.
Look, if you're going to ask me to get invested in anyone, you're going to move them along.
Well, Doug has already admitted his feelings. I think we're now waiting just for Holly to figure out hers.
Yeah.
Just please don't have her end up pregnant too. Please.
Oh, no. I can't do another pregnancy. Please.
No but all right. No more. Well, that was your week of days, everybody. And we are now moving on to our segments. And we're going to start with mine, which is Tony's official 3 Snaps Award.
Oh, snap. Oh, snap.
There we go. All right. So my 3 Snaps Award goes to Stephanie Johnson, Abigail Klein. And here's why. Sometimes you come over spilling tea and you stumble into tea and you have a whole conversation with your good girlfriend that no one else really knows. But if you know girl talk, you know. Here's that moment. Let me tell you what that conversation was. That conversation was like, girl, I done came over here and I done spilled all this tea and oh, girl. And then Jada looks at her and goes, girl, I know. And then Shawn is looking down like,
busted.
So for stumbling upon the tea and still being a good friend, Stephanie Johnson, Abigail Klein, you get Tony's official 3 Snaps Award.
Oh, snap!
And today we do not have a caption that because Michael Mattis is not here. But what we will do is travel back in time for
Those were the days.
All right, kicking up those are the days and taking you back to February 26, 1996, when Lexi Carver learns that Stefano DiMera is her biological father. And just a quick, the man in the upper left-hand corner, that is the infamous parrot man that we have been talking about since we've gotten this new Rachel Blake storyline. Again, apparently he's still around and is alive and well and comes to sit and gossip and have tea with Rachel. So I don't know, maybe we will see him in the future, but that is the original parrot man. And he is the one who very much so forced Celeste to reveal that Stefano was Lexi's father. So February 26, 1996. And also, I take a little bit of a deep dive into Lexi, not only her, but the actress also Renee Jones, who played her in Those Were Days Extended, which should be dropping soon. So check that out. But yeah, February 26, 1996, when Lexi learned that Stefano was her biological father by way of Parrot Man.
And those definitely.
Those were the days.
Lexi, when she decided to embrace being a DiMera and she had on that red dress with that little
the hood, yep, for the Mother of the Year award for her.
I said, come on, Lexi, you better show them your DiMera side. It was almost like she was like, I'm tired of being nice to y'all. Okay. Do you know who my daddy is? Stefano DiMera. Okay. And that makes me a DiMera. So baby, I ain't playing. And now it's time for It's a Gift.
And this week's It's a Gift goes to the cute little almost lovebirds who need to hurry up because I can't keep brainstorming songs for your montage without any more content. For anyone who's wondering, this is what comes up when you type in the search bar, crush. Aw, they have a crush.
We too old to have crushes.
Which is why I'm gonna need more content. ASAP.
Well, Days, go ahead and get them folks together, honey. And that was It's a Gift. And now it's time for News and Gossip.
Starting off with some casting news. Big congratulations to Olivia Rose Keegan. She's been cast in the new indie coming-of-age comedy called Chinese School. This movie will be a blend of live action, animation, and original songs. And I am going to just make a intelligent guess that we will hear Olivia Rose Keegan's voice in the movie. Just a guess here, but yeah, big congrats to her. Then next up, we have Zach Tinker. His new indie film actually just dropped. It's called For When You Get Lost. It's now available on Amazon, Apple, and Fandango at home. This is an indie road trip comedy. It's actually won a few awards, actually many awards over the festival circuit this past year. So yeah, if you're in the mood, go check that out. Again, it's For When You Get Lost is the name of the movie with Zach Tinker co-starring.
And next up in the Days world, we have some birthdays we're celebrating this week. We were celebrating the birthdays of Mr. Greg Rickard and Mr. Louis Tomeo. And happy belated birthday to them. And in the Days online world, you can find a Black History Month video with Lamone Archie, where he sat down to celebrate Black History Month. And he did that by going down memory lane with his counterpart, Miss South Towers Lonnie, their love story, their Black love story on Days Peacock, and why that was significant for the show. And the other significance for the show
and sorry if I can interject, you guys can go back and watch an interview that we did when Lonnie and Eli got married, and they took a deeper dive into the significance of, number one, being the first African-American wedding on Days of Our Lives and all that went into it. So go back and check out our interview with them. It was a wedding reception of all wedding receptions on Dishin Days. So check that out.
Yes. And that was to close out Black History Month. We are now in Women's History Month. And in honor of Women's History Month, Susan Seyfried Hayes sat down to reflect on her 5-decade journey as Julie on Days of Our Lives and touched upon how the genre has changed, and particularly women's place in the genre has changed. And not on Days, but on CBS, you can find Katie McLean and her first viewing as Miss Pamela. She plays the best friend to Beyond the Gates' one of the main characters, Danny. If you don't know Danny, played by Carla Mosley, you'll know her when you see her. Yeah, so she appeared on Friday's episode in her first scene on the show, and she's very different from her portrayal of Jennifer Horton Devereaux. And actually, was it Soaps and Death? One of our soap affiliated websites actually pointed out that this is the first character, while Katie McLean is a soap staple, this is the first character she has ever originated in soap operas. So
that's one of the things they highlighted on the behind the scenes too, is that this was an original character for her and not a recast, as she's often been. Good for her though. She's talented, y'all. She's a talented person.
Next up, we have some Wally Kurth news. Many of you may know he plays, of course, double duty as Justin on Days, but also as Ned on GH. Excuse me. Well, this past week, he played tribute to his longtime GH co-star. If many of you know, watch GH. We lost Leslie Carlson, who played Monica Quartermaid on the show. In real life, she passed away, but he actually hosted her memorial. So some Days vets, in addition to Wally, and current stars, Jane Elliott, of course, who played... oh god, why am I breaking out her name?
Tracy Quartermain.
No, she on Days. She played,
on Days.
Angelica.
Yes.
Jane Elliott played Angelica. Tamara Braun, of course, was Carly on Days, and Steve Burton, of course, just finished up his run. But they also joined. Joined Wally at the memorial, giving lovely speeches, and Wally sang some of Leslie's favorite songs to sort of commemorate her life. But yeah, just another example of a good guy Wally Kurth here, totally stepped up, and he and Leslie, their characters have been so intertwined over the last few decades on GH, and of course him and Leslie had a very special, really great friendship. So yeah, perfect person to kind of step up and handle that. So yeah.
Yeah, well done. Next up, the day players are continuing on to their spring leg of their 2025 tour, with continuing shows coming up in, you can see Oklahoma City, in Dallas, Albany, Pottstown, Birmingham. If you would like to see the day players, including any behind the scenes and actually get to meet the day players, they have those packages as well. You can go to thedayplayersband.com. They are now have touring dates through May of this year.
And we have a couple events with Star Image. A new Q&A Zoom with Galen Gehring and Eric Martzoff has been posted. This one is going to take place on March 23rd. Of course, these two go way back, not only from Days, but also they started on Passions together. So I'm sure this Zoom will be very lively considering these two and their personalities. So go check that out. And then we have our summer concert and dance party. This one's happening the weekend of June 20th to 21st this year in Montreal, Canada. And all tickets and information, you go to eventbrite.com/Star Image Entertainment.
Yes, and Starstruck Fan Events is going to be hosting their Cinco de Derby event the weekend of April 5th through 6th. It's going to be at the Meadowlands Racetrack in New Jersey. And as we've been talking about in the last few weeks, Sherry Jimenez was added to this event. For tickets information, go to starstruckfanevents.com.
Yes, and then we have our two events from Samantha and Friends. They have the Winter Wonderland Charity Fundraiser Gala. Takes place the weekend of May 3rd through 4th of this year. And then we have the Haunted Mansion later on this year, the weekend of September 13th through 14th. All tickets and information, you go to samanthasfriends.org.
Yeah. All right, everybody. And that has been
News and gossip.
And now, everyone, it is now time to see what is coming up this week on Days of Our Lives.
I'm afraid I've got some bad news.
It's about my father. When the love of your life needs you.
I'm going to go find him. I am coming for you.
When you're trying to adopt.
We need to show Mrs. Choi that we have strong family values.
We wanted to make a good first impression.
Where the hell is my brother?
Get the hell out of my house. When you're finally together.
I'm late. A pregnancy test. Patient name Wesley Joy.
Days of Our Lives.
After we just said we don't need no more babies.
I know.
Well, we are gearing up for John.
Yeah.
So that's going to be sad.
Yeah.
And of course, trying to make a good impression. And here comes Gabi.
Okay, I'm looking forward to that part.
Right. At first, I was like, not her holding up the gun in front of them, but it looks like they had already cleared out.
Yeah.
So good. Before we close out, Tony, have some great news. I believe a couple of weeks ago, we talked about a new show that I am in on Out TV called Drag House Rules. And I wanted to show you guys just a little trailer on that show. So check this out.
This season on Drag House Rules, 7 queens fight for their chance at a prize package worth $100,000. Each episode, the queens will vote to eliminate one of their own until only one queen remains. This is Drag House Rules.
Are you happy with that one?
Are you happy with it?
But I just really want to go home.
You just play the game, Jujubee.
I'm okay. Honey, you're okay. Watch it, watch it! This is horrible. I'm sure it'll taste good. It always tastes good.
What's the drag house without a little drama?
How's that? Are you cemetery? Because I'm dead inside and I want to bury myself in you.
Capitalist pig.
I actually prefer the term venture socialist.
I'm sure he's fracking out there. I will take him outside and I will shoot him with rubber bullets.
Tammy, we really need you to play nice.
What's in the prize package?
All will be revealed. Put the bat down.
I want to go home. Nothing could have prepared me for the dumpster fire that is the show. Is that a good soundbite, Mr. Producer? Huh?
What are you guys doing? Don't film this. This isn't part of the show.
Yay! So you can go on over to outtv.com and check out the show. The second episode just premiered this past Friday. And you can check it out every Friday. Out TV is also available on Apple TV, Roku, and Amazon Prime. And it is a couple of extra bucks. But yeah, You guys go check it out and support. Yay! If you would like to watch the first episode, you can go to Out TV's YouTube channel and check out the very first episode. So there you go. Little plug for me. I know one shouldn't plug themselves. However, I'm going to use every platform to talk about me. Because we'll do the same for each other. All right, everyone. That has been Dishin Days. Before we head out, make sure you go check out the fancy photos of Michael Mattis over on Instagram and Twitter at ML Mattis. Justin Lee Hareld, where can they find you?
Find me on Instagram at Justin Lee Hareld.
And Araceli Aviles, where can they find you?
You can find me on Instagram and Twitter at Tia323 Araceli.
And of course, you can find Little Chocolate Me on all social media platforms at Lounging with Tony. And you can find us at Dishin Days Show on Facebook and Dishin Days on Instagram, Twitter, X, and Threads. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to another full dish of this week's episodes of Peacock's exclusive #1 award-winning hit soap opera, Days of Our Lives. Until next Sunday, hope you guys have a wonderful, productive, incredible, fabulous week. And we'll be back here next Sunday, 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time to talk about all the things that happened this week on Days of Our Lives. Have a wonderful, happy, Oscar-winning Sunday, everyone. See you next Sunday. Bye.